Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned into a live tarot throw. Today is November 2nd, 2025. I have your Tarotlogical Forecast for the week. Down below, let's go to the tarot cam. All right. Setting the stage for the tarot cam this morning. What we're going to do is we're going to throw some tarot cards to get you a look at each day of the week coming up. And we're going to throw a pair of cards for each day from this deck. But before we get there, we're going to throw a card from this deck, and we're going to take that card and use it as a prism through which to look at the rest of the week with. All these cards have been pre-shuffled, so we can save some time, but I'm ready to dole them out. Let's start first of all with, we'll save you for last. We'll check out our prism in a moment. Let's check out the 5 events, or the 5 sets of energies we're going to play with. All right, so first of all, right there, fun, helpful messages for this first week of November 2025, or whenever you happen to catch this video. These are all fun, helpful, instructive messages from the tarot world to get you thinking about how things go and the power that you have to make things come out for the better for everybody. Ooh, we got to slide this guy over a little bit. That's right. You know, if you look for problems, you're going to find problems. And likewise, if you look for successes, guess what you're going to find? All right. Here we go. So we got 5 sets for your 5-day work week. And now let's draw from the top of the Ethereal Bloom Tarot deck. I really like the way this deck shuffles, by the way, and it has quite a lovely back to it. Really like that. So anyway, as I say, the decks have been pre-shuffled. Let's see, what are we looking at? The 3 of Cups. Party down, everybody. It's a 3 of Cups. It's celebration time. We're all together. We get to do this. This reminds me of being at Club Med in Mexico when it was mariachi night and the band was playing and they had all these tables lined up with different kinds of margaritas. And then the guys in the band would play a song. And then when the song was over, everyone would get free drinks at the tables. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. Not really. We don't want to be like celebrating like that at the beginning of the work week. We should be saving this for the end. But maybe we're saying, look at each event as a celebration. I just read a quote from Marcus Aurelius, the Roman statesman from about 2,000 years ago. And he said that the obstacle is not the problem. The obstacle is therefore the path. So celebrate whatever comes your way, because you're going to turn it into a path, not a problem. All right, cool. Let's get this deck set aside and see how the rest of the stories go. I get to write 5 stories to start my week. There's your 3 of Cups. Yeah, I think I like that. No, wait, can we fit it right here? There's a good place for it. Good. The 3 of Cups. And now let's look at the 5 stories. First for Monday. This guy was, here we go. We have the King of Wands and the 4 of Wands. How wonderful. The King of Wands talks about overcoming obstacles, and the 4 of Wands talks about a homecoming, which is also like a celebration. And if you take a look at the 4 of Wands card, it looks again like those ladies are partying again, the ladies from the 3 of Cups. So again, that message that we had before, turn the obstacle into the path. That's a great way to celebrate. Way to go. Keep it going. Okay, let's see what happens on Tuesday. Wow. So keeping in mind that we're going to take obstacles and turn them into the path, okay, here's the same kind of a pattern. The 3 of Swords says we're going to encounter some kind of pain. And the the Lover's card, which happens to be number 6 in the major arcana, the Lover's card says that you're going to succeed and turn it into something beautiful with the help perhaps of someone else or even the spirit world, having a higher perspective. Again, we're taking all those obstacles, all those negative things that came our way, and like martial artists, we're going to turn it around and into something positive, turn that energy into something that works our way. Great messages. I get it. Well, you got to have that mindset. Every time you go at it, something's going to come my way like a boomerang. I'm going to send it back. I'm only here for the good stuff. Hey, you know what? When you're busy like the 9 of Wands guy, fighting off all the obstacles all the time and turning it into something positive, well, you learn a lot. Both of these people, the Hierophant and the 9 of Wands guy, these are both chock full of wisdom. He's like he's like the manager in the dugout, and he's like your third base coach. So yeah, these obstacles, they seem to keep coming our way all the time. It's about time we figure out how to handle it. Look for the patterns, find a way to sidestep it, and present our energy in a positive way, no matter what the situation is. Great. We're still partying on here. There's nothing we can't overcome. We're still cruising through the week. Here comes Thursday. Yeah, all right. Well, there's going to come a time, even in our minds, says the 4 of Cups, where we're not going to be, well, okay, there's a lot to say about the 4 of Cups there. So the 4 of Cups guy, he seems to think that something's missing, even though all 4 cups are there. He's not exactly being grateful. That's one of today's themes. He's not exactly being grateful what the universe is handing him. So in that case, don't forget to do the 4 of Swords, which is to rest, repose, get another look in the morning, and then rejuvenate that way. But also, the 4 of Cups card does remind us, if we're grateful, we're probably going to bounce back faster. All right. And then finally, on Friday, we finally get to, we've been celebrating every day. Someone's been putting stuff on our desk, and we've been cleaning it off. Someone's turning something our way, thinking it's going to sabotage our mood, and we just turn it into something like the boss liked how we handled it. And you know what? We got some credit. So every time someone sent us something, we sent it right back. Nice. And then finally, yeah, that's right. More of the same. Here's the Tower card, followed up with the Knight of Wands. You know what? Whatever calamity comes my way, I'm charging forward regardless. I choose to thrive. Therefore, we can celebrate. We can celebrate all the time, not just this upcoming week, not just today, but I'm grateful right now, and I'm celebrating with you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's give these cards a shuffle real quick and then get on with our show. If you would like a reading for the second part of the show, which is in about 25 minutes or less, then please hit the top fans button. If you hit the top fans button, I automatically think that you want a reading. And then also you can type in the chat, tarot please, in all capital letters. Then I know, it's easier for me to see. I check out the chat after the show, but it helps me to know, it helps me to see it right away if it's all in capital letters. Thank you very much. So let me set these decks aside. If you want this deck or any deck at all, I know like I have some regulars and they recognize the decks that they like. Whichever deck you like, ladies and gentlemen, is fine. But yes, the Ethereal Bloom Tarot deck is available. Hang on a minute. I would like to set it aside in a convenient way for me. Here we go. Great. Oh, see, that's why I got to shuffle it later. All right. So before we come upstairs, I want to show you something to pick up from where we left off on last time. What happened last time, the last couple of shows, is that we talked about ways of learning and lesson design and how you prepare the brain to take in instruction and how you reinforce it by exploring different modalities and different ways of doing things. And this is just another format, another tool of the trade. And I got to say that as much as I held on to these tools of the trade, I got to say I wasn't always looking at them after a while. I mean, obviously, maybe I became accustomed to them and I knew about them, but nevertheless, I had these handy just in case I had a moment to help me explore, what am I doing? How can I expand my instructional abilities just to keep it fresh for myself? So here I have quick flip activities for multiple intelligences. It includes intrapersonal intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence, spatial intelligence, musical intelligence, logical mathematical intelligence, and linguistic intelligence. And so what you would do is you would just pull up the tab and it would have activities for you to consider in each of these intelligence domains. So very helpful, even though I use it infrequently. This one was quick flip ideas for writing domains. That could be kind of challenging. You want to get the kids to write something, but you always have to come up with ideas. Well, here's one way to address it. You have ideas presented here. Just click on the tab. This is for analytical, expository. This is for, what does that say there? Sensory, descriptive. And then there's practical, informative. And the last one is imaginative and narrative. All right. Another helpful tool. This is great. I want to say thanks to these tools. They've been around forever, reminding me how to, keep myself professionally on target. This last one is quick flip questions for critical thinking. And it goes through what sounds like Bloom's taxonomy. It goes through knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Well, it sounds like one of the things we talked about the last couple of days. And again, you just click on it and then there's questions. You ask those questions and that explores that part of the concept or the knowledge, the application part. Okay, and then there's the analysis part. The student analysis. The student analyzes something. Anyway, used infrequently, still very nice tools. All right, next, we're going to come back upstairs, and we're getting ready to start our new month here at StarCard Podcast. It's November 2025. I like the blue eerie look here with a holiday tree. Every day is a holiday at StarCard Podcast. I see Seraphim Speaks is in the chat. I want to say hi to Seraphim Speaks. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go on with my presentation. I look forward to throwing some cards for you. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Shouldn't be that long. I actually have a shorter show. It is the weekend. So I want to make sure I'm covering all my notes, ladies and gentlemen. I think I have some special things to say about gratitude. Oh, yeah. But first of all, I want to tell you about what we did in August, which is basically when we got StarCard Podcast underway. We called it Camp Breakaway back in August. You go to the StarCard Podcast playlist and you can find that folder with all the ones we did in August. And we were doing introductions. We were doing orientation to Breakaway University. And we were getting used to however it was we were going to end up doing this show, which was great. And then it was also great in Schooltember, which was September 2025. And let's see, what did I write down there? We talked about writing, and we were re-examining history and education. That's true. So in Schooltember, we were picking apart the things that we were taught in school and taking another look at those things. All the while, we're throwing tarot cards, having a good time, meeting some fun people. Then came last month, Sci-tober, where we encouraged everyone to turn inward, like the Hermit card, and learn how your mind works. And we also talked about, you guys thought I was done showing this word, metempsychosis, the concept of reincarnation. It's a little bit foreign to people here in the United States in the year 2025, but it's been around in human history since human history began and before then. And also, most of the world believes in metempsychosis. If you consider the billions of people on planet Earth and their religious affiliations, most of those religions believe in metempsychosis and the concept of reincarnation. If you haven't given it a lot of thought, you really should. You may gain an advantage. Knowledge is power. Well, I'm going to put the card down now. But that doesn't mean I'm going to get rid of it. You might see it again. Which reminds me that I had like an unofficial extra credit homework assignment for those who were tuning in during Cytober that I would like to invite you to learn about a past life. And I hope that you got a chance to do that. Of course, we're all going to learn about it in different ways. If you're interested in whether or not Breakaway Ray has done so, please check the Psychic Liz Cross playlist at StarCard Podcast and find our interview with Sarah Adelia, one of my past lives. All right, but now on to November, and who knows what November will bring us, but we're going to start with gratitude. And so I've got some quotes about gratitude for you. Let me get organized down here. Yeah, here we go. Who knows why I grew up memorizing cool quotes and things like that. I guess it was all a setup for StarCard Podcast when I became a host. Anyhow, this is a quote from Marcus Aurelius, who lived from the years 121 to 180. So we're going way back because knowledge is timeless. And he said, gratitude is the parent of all virtues. And lots of people who understand gratitude, and which is very easy to understand, they understand you start there. That's, by the way, where you can start with all your manifestation. Start with gratitude first. All right, so I have another quote. There was a thinker from France in the 1700s. His name was Voltaire. He wrote a lot of fun stuff. Here's, Voltaire lived from 1694 to 1778. And here's what Voltaire wrote about gratitude. He wrote, appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well. All right, well done, very clever. And I have a couple of other quotes about gratitude. Three more, and then we'll save the rest for another day. First of all, well, I guess I could do this upstairs. Here we go. We'll have to turn off on the light though. Let's see. Yeah, I can be cool with that. All right. So there's an American comedian named Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers passed away, I'm guessing, in the last couple of decades. Anyhow, she was a comedian pioneer as well as a pioneer female comedian. Here's something she had to say about gratitude. She said, I'm trying to get the best light, everybody. Hang on. I can be cool with that. All right, here I go. Oh, hi, Flix Love. Thanks for tuning in. All right, here I go, everybody. This is from American comedian Joan Rivers. I'm grateful for every day I'm still alive. Everything is still working. I attribute it to eating a lot of processed foods. I think it's the preservatives that keep me going. That, and I eat as much chocolate as I can get my hands on. That's Joan Rivers. And then I have another writer here. His name is Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde with an E on the end. Oscar Wilde was born in the year 1854. Oscar Wilde passed away November 30th, 1900. So here are two quotes from Oscar Wilde. If you don't get everything you want, think of the things you don't get that you don't want. I'm going to read that one again. Can I do without that light? Nope, I can't. Still fine-tuning everything here at StarCard Podcast Studios. Oscar Wilde said, if you don't get everything you want, Think of the things you don't get that you don't want. Here's another Oscar Wilde quote. We are all of us in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. We all have clouds above us, but some see silver linings. We all face difficulties, but some of us are grateful that they aren't worse. That's gratitude for you. All right, everybody. So that concludes my exploration of gratitude today. I've presented your tarotlogical forecast for the week. I wish you a lot of luck. I hope you have a lot of fun. I'm going to come out as much as I can. There's no way I can forecast my own programming. That's all I can tell you. Whenever we get together, and it's going to be great. You know that if there's no tarot throws going on, Breakaway Ray must be working on something else, because this is like the one thing I want to do is to come out and throw tarot cards. In any case, everybody, I'm going to throw some tarot cards now, invite the tarot world to comment on gratitude, and then we're going to go straight to the audience tarot readings. Here we go, back downstairs. All right. Hey, tarot world, it's really great to be here. Would you like to comment on gratitude, the parent of all virtues? Maybe you'd like to probably give us a good lesson on how to remember how to be grateful. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear in a fun, helpful, inspirational, instructional way. What's up, tarot world? When we say gratitude, you say, check out these cards. How about some cards about gratitude? Oh, okay. And then I was going to go like this. Let me just check and see. All right. Thank you very much, Tarot World. I'm sure that besides being extremely entertaining, there's probably a fun, helpful, instructional message here about gratitude. All right, welcome to November, everybody. Yeah, all right. First up, it's the Two of Swords. Well, you know, when you look at this lady, she has weapons, tools in each hand, so she's totally prepared. However, she is blindfolded and she does not have all the information yet. This is a crossroads card. And I would say, you know what? When you're at a crossroads, that's the best time to be grateful. Because when you're grateful, that's going to turn on your intuition and you're going to know right where to go, even if you're blindfolded and you don't have all the information. So again, we're talking about grounding ourselves in gratitude right from the start. Next up, wow. We talked about using gratitude to ground ourselves, and that's going to transform something, says the Death card. I want to get my glass here and see if there's some extra messages on these two cards. First, the Two of Swords, difficult decisions, weighing options. Then go to your intuition. The Death card says, endings, beginnings, change, transformation, metamorphosis. Well, we were talking about turning the obstacle into the path. The obstacle becomes the path. So that's another way to allow your intuition to go with the flow. How do they say? I think in one of those smart Asian texts from a long time ago, behave like water, flow like water through life. Wow. And then the 10 of Cups card says, it'll be a dream come true. And plus, you've got divine love. You'll be in tune with the spirit world when you're in that flow, starting with gratitude. Oh, and then right over here, we have these two guys together. We have the Five of Wands, which talks about conflict and different opinions and respecting boundaries. And at the same time, you have the Knight of Wands, who always says, you know, let's go charge forward enthusiastically. So it's another way in saying if you're grateful, you've already accomplished something. You know you can do it again. Start with gratitude and overcome that Five of Wands, that conflict business. Make it turn upside down to a respect one's differences card. There we go. And then don't forget there's give and take. When you're flowing through energies like that yin and yang on the flag of Korea there. Okay, so go with the flow. The energies have to flow. Anyway, what do I know? I'm just a guy throwing cards on the internet. Anyway, here's the last card I got for you. And I guess the Queen of Cups, that's someone who knows what to be grateful for. She shows us the way. Remember to feel this way, everybody. The Queen of Cups, compassion, comfort, calm, nurturing, healing, emotionally stable, intuitive, and caring. It does say intuitive. Use your intuition. Transform all your obstacles into paths. Therefore, your dreams come true no matter what befalls you, because you're giving and taking with all the energies around you. And then you end up like the Queen of Cups. Party down. All right. Thank you very much, Tarot World. That was cool. Let's, we have some more friends watching the show now, and we have some more friends requesting readings. How wonderful. Let me give these a toss. You know, a lot of these friends are regulars. It's so wonderful to have loyal friends out there ready to join. Here we go. All right, good to see you all, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's throw some cards for you. Let's see who wants reading. I got Flicks Love. I need a better card. Right. I've got Mrs. NW5. Hi, Judy. Number 3. Hello, Puck Elf. All right. I got Puck Elf. And I saw Seraphim Speaks. I'm going to check the chat in a minute, Seraphim Speaks. But I'm going to write your name down if I see that you're asking for a reading. This is my big chance to get it right. I don't want to miss anybody. Yep, I see you. Okay, great. Seraphim Speaks. Write me down. I'm going to write you down first. Thank you. What else have I got going on here? All right, great. So I have 4 people written down here. Seraphim Speaks, Flicks Love, Judy, Mrs. NW5, and Puck Elf. And if you are watching or tuning in and you want a reading, go ahead and type it in the chat. We're going to try our very best to make sure we give everyone a reading if you're tuning in and you want one. In the meanwhile, I will need to take a tea break. So one moment, please, while I step aside. All right. Let's throw some cards. I have to use that cover more often. That was pretty cool. Like I could use the cover and you guys don't have to look at my pajama bottoms. There we go. First up, Seraphim Speaks. All right. We invite you, Tarot World, to send a fun, helpful message to Seraphim Speaks. Tune in to StarCard Podcast so early in the morning. Thank you very much. Thanks for making time out of your day, everybody, anytime you're listening to this program. Anyway, we're going to throw some cards for a fun, helpful message for Seraphim Speaks. These cards are for Seraphim Speaks. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear. A fun, helpful message for Seraphim Speaks, please. All right. Great. This is for entertainment purposes only. All right. Thanks for joining me. Let's have some fun. All right. Well, let's look at it in a fun way. It's the Tower card. Usually when stuff is falling apart, it's because it's not meant to stay anymore. So it's okay if things come crashing down in a way. We're going to pick through the mess and keep the best parts. I'm sorry. I'm looking around for my magnifying glass. Oh, there it is. Let's read the words on the card for you. Seraphim Speaks. Sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, disaster, awakening, release, sudden insight. See, it could be as mild as release and sudden insight. I don't need this anymore. All right. Then check that out. The King of Swords. Well, this guy's all about truth. So maybe after all the garbage and detritus falls away and blows away, what's really going to be left over is the truth. What is that they say about Occam's razor? Well, I forget how Occam's razor goes, but whatever's left over must be the truth, no matter how crazy it sounds. Let's read for you what it says on the King of Swords. Head over heart, disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity, and authority. Next up, all right, more smart people. It's the educated man, the Hierophant. And that card represents all kinds of things like institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, mercy, wisdom, and trust. And then after that comes the Ace of Pentacles. Whatever's going on, it reveals an important truth. People learn from it, and then it's a brand new day and a brand new start with the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles, abundance, manifestation, opportunity, new career or financial opportunity, new venture, and prosperity. Yeah, you probably couldn't get to all those new opportunities and prosperity if you're still dragging around whatever happened over here. All right, let's see the second row here. How about that? It's the Six of Cups card, which talks about nostalgia, familiarity, happy memories, reminiscing, innocence, and joy. How nice. We're keeping our mind on the good parts. We're being grateful. And then the Knight of Cups says, it's the knight in shining armor. This goes with our theme of gratitude. So this is why I say it like this. Remember the good times. Be grateful for the good times. And then guess what? When you're grateful, you're following your intuition. The universe sends you more of that, and you become your own knight in shining armor. Let's see what else it says on here for you. Seraphim Speaks. Creativity, romantic, charm, imagination, beauty, knight in shining armor, following the heart, Prince Charming. So first of all, this guy says head over heart. Okay. But then after you do the head over heart thing and you learn what's going on, then with this new opportunity, you can manifest some more and follow your heart. What is this wonderful card? Oh, it's the Six of Pentacles again, showing up to talk about giving and receiving. Anyway, I hope this was a fun, helpful message for you, Seraphim Speaks. Thanks for inviting me to read. I really appreciate the practice. All right. Oh, we have a new friend. Hello, Stola, 1986. Oh, hey. All right, Seraphim Speaks. Thank you very much. I appreciate your feedback. When I'm just going to go ahead and tell how grateful I am when people do comment that I'm close or I'm sending a message that resonates. It helps me to know that I'm on the right path when people send that message to me in the chat. So I want to say thank you very much. Because if you don't know, if you're new to StarCard Podcast, I've only been doing this since March, and I'm very grateful to my teacher, Matthew Mornian. I'm grateful to also Rob Khalil over the Typical Skeptic podcast for introducing me to the world of tarot. And now I'm hoping I'm introducing it to a lot of other people also, because the spirit world's all around us, and that's just not something that's part of our culture here in the United States. Nevertheless, rolling back, thanks again for your positive feedback in the chat. Helps me know that I'm on the right track. It helps me build up muscle memory so I can get stronger and better at it. In any case, we took care of Seraphim Speaks. We have a new friend, Stola 1986. I'm writing you down, Stola. Okay. And I wonder, did I miss anybody else? Nope. Great. All right. Next up, we're going to take care of Flix Love. Thanks again for tuning in, Flix Love. Hope you're having a great weekend. Here we go. How about a fun, helpful message for Flix Love, please? Everybody loves the cards you let me throw, Tarot World. Keep up the good work. Let's keep the mojo going. Here we go. A fun, helpful message for Flix Love, please. These cards are for Flix Love. I'm going to keep those two together. Why not? Okay, fine. All right. These cards are for Flix Love. Here we go, Flix Love. Nice. All right, so first up, it's the Seven of Pentacles person who says when you work hard at something, you really cultivate your project and you grow these big, beautiful pentacles. Let's read what it says on the Seven of Pentacles card for Flix Love. Long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results, investment. Right. Okay, next. These two came out together. It's the Ace of Swords and the Happy Memories card, Six of Cups. The Ace of Swords talks about truth, and the Six of Cups talking about basically memories from the past, maybe your youth. Something tells me that maybe this is a pursuit from a truth or a discovery you made when you were in your youth. Although that couldn't have been too long ago. You seem like a very young person, Flix Love. So anyway, let's move on with your message. All right. The Knight of Wands shows up again encouraging us to charge forward energetically. The Knight of Wands. Energy, passionate, inspired action, adventure, fearless, impulsiveness. Yeah, view everything as an adventure. You might as well make it fun. And then check that out. It's the Knight of Cups again. It's the Knight in Shining Armor card. View everything as an adventure. You might as well. And then guess what? You get to be the hero of the story. You're the Knight in Shining Armor. Why not? Who cares how anyone else wants to view it? You're the hero in your own adventure. All right. And then the last two cards for Flix Love. It's the Eight of Swords. But this is like a phrase here, everybody. Welcome to StarCard Podcast. The Eight of Swords card boils down to me, Breakaway Ray, as saying, as much as you can imagine, and now let's see how we conclude that statement. As much as we can imagine, the Hermit represents, again, intuition, following the path that only you can see because you're holding the lantern. Let's read what it says on the Hermit card. Soul searching. Well, a truth from our childhood, that would be a truth that we always carry with us. Okay. Again, we're talking about soul searching, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, truth seeking, truth guy, inner guidance, independence, meditation, and consciousness. Hey, Flix Love, I hope this was a fun, helpful message for you. Thank you so much for inviting me to read again. All right, have a good one. Let's move on next to Judy. Oh, I see that Stola asked a question if the nickname will affect the reading. Absolutely not. So wait, let's come upstairs. Yeah, to my own astonishment, it does not matter what the name is at all. Apparently, the tarot world provides me with the right messages for the right person. I've seen that happen many times on this podcast and on the and others. We'll just say others. So don't worry about that. The less I know, the better. I don't know anybody. And also, yeah, again, I've only been doing this since March. If you check out some of my earlier podcasts, like in August or September, I talk about my adventure learning tarot cards. And I show my notebooks where I spent several hours a day, several days a week for several weeks practicing with the tarot cards and learning about them. Nevertheless, we're going to go on to the next reading. So happy to share all this with you. Glad you're having a good time. Let's go back downstairs. Oh, wait, let's try that again. Let's go back downstairs. All right, see, I'm having fun. Okay, where were we? Judy, Mrs. NW5. We're going to throw a card for Judy. Yeah, you're welcome, Flixlove. You're welcome, Stola. Cool deal. And now, again, Judy, Mrs. NW5. How about a fun, helpful message for Judy, please? Here we go. These cards are for Judy. Tarot world knows her well. Right on, Tarot world. I feel like the tarot world doesn't feel like it needs to sugarcoat anything for you, Judy. Anyway, these cards are for you, Judy. Let's see what's going on. I mean, I always say fun, helpful message, but again, I don't feel like they care about sugarcoating it. I don't know why it's making me laugh. Here we go. Whoops. All right. It's the Judgment card where old energies are swapped out for new, wonderful, fresh energies. So we can say, thanks a lot, old energies. I learned a lot from you. And now I'm moving on to the next grade. Okay. Thanks a lot, third grade teacher. I'm moving on to fourth grade. Here's the Judgment card. It says, Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase. Yeah. I got a new thing going on. I'm in the same body, but I got a new ego I'm working on. And it stars the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles says, nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. That sounds pretty solid in a 3D world sense. But again, what do I know? Wow. So this is the High Priestess, by the way. So this is blossoming into a wonderful message. We said that the Queen of Pentacles says you're okay like in a 3D sense. And then the High Priestess shows up and says, yeah, and you're covered in the 4D and above also. Both of these ladies are working for you. Next, it's the Emperor. And the Emperor talks about control. You're in control. There's a lot of control involved. Your powers are balanced. Way to go. Keep up the good work. Now, maybe this is the fun part. The Five of Cups shows up and says that we're paying attention to disappointment. Check that out. The Hermit and the Five of Cups guy, they're both like in the same pose. So instead of looking at the mess on the floor, get your lantern out and go do some soul searching. You can figure out why this happened, and then you can move on from there. Okay. Turn that frown upside down. Take that dark coat and make it a lighter coat. Okay. How can I learn from this? Because look, this guy can see that the cups are still standing up. Okay. He's paying attention in the wrong direction. He should be turning around. Look for that silver lining. All right. How many times can I say it? Here we go. Be grateful for what you got. Next up, yay. It's the Knight of Pentacles. It's going to take hard work. The Knight of Pentacles says hard work, productivity, routine, conservation, You know what? It is hard work to always look at someone else's mess or the mess that I had nothing to do with, okay? And I have to transform the mess. And it's hard work to always do that. However, of all these figures, the Hermit is largest in stature. You know, this guy zooms out, he's really the Hermit. And this Hermit, bigger than this guy riding on a horse even. Okay, this guy looks like a jockey at the racetrack. All right, anyways, right on, Judy. You got it all under control. Hope you have a good week. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. Next up, all right, it's Puck Elf's turn. Yeah, way to go, Judy. You always have an encouraging message. I appreciate your participation. And yeah, Puck Elf, I'm saying you're welcome. I see you're thinking, yeah, there's a lot of gratitude being floated around here. How wonderful. And you're welcome, Stola. I see your message too. Thanks a lot, Stola. Appreciate it. All right, so let's throw some cards for Puck Elf. How about a fun, helpful message for Puck Elf, please? These cards are for Puck Elf. A fun, helpful message. Probably has something to do with gratitude. Here we go. Cards for Puck Elf, please. These cards are for Puck Elf. All right. All right, Puck Elf. I got some cards for you. Here we go. Let's have some fun. Yeah, Judy, you're working. Sorry, you're welcome, Judy. Thank you again for your messages. Here we go, Puck Elf. We're starting off with the King of Wands. He always overcomes obstacles. You know, he can face down any kind of obstacle. I wonder if there's a special message on here. Natural leader, visionary, entrepreneur, big picture, overcoming challenges, mature. Great. Okay. Then there's always guys like this hanging around, the Five of Swords, winner take all, conflict, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, and abusive relationships. But again, this guy is a king, and he looks over that, and there's so much more of the kingdom to see here. All right, starting with justice. That means that justice will be served. And then the Five of Pentacles talks about someone being left out in the cold, someone being forlorn. Let's see what it says here on the Five of Pentacles. Financial loss, a lack of mindset, isolation, worry, need, and insecurity. We're going to get a fun, helpful message because here comes the Ace of Pentacles talking about a new opportunity, new employment, perhaps. Oh, yeah. And then whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, it's like a dream come true, says the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is more than just a dream come true. It's like the universe provided it for you. You know, this is the next part in your life's plan. So maybe there was some rough stuff in the past, but moving on, another opportunity has presented itself to you for happiness. It's a dream come true. Thank God. All right. And then, yeah, the Knight of Cups says it's a knight in shining armor. I think in Latin you say Deus ex machina, the God in the machine, the magical thing that saves everyone at the end of the Greek play. Great. This is how we want it to end. All right. And then there's going to be a lot of happy memories and great nostalgia, says the Six of Cups, because of that. That was pretty exciting, Puck Elf, but it's always exciting when you're here. Good luck, Puck Elf. Have a great week. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. I appreciate it. Cool deal. Next up, Stola, 1986. Here we go. All right, Tarot World, can you shoot off some more fireworks for us, please? How about a nice message for Stola, 1986? A fun, helpful message. Anyway, we can say something that's going to help Stola, 1986. That would be great. Appreciate your help. Thank you, Tarot World. These cards are for Stola. A fun, helpful message for Stola 1986, please. These cards are for Stola. These cards are for Stola. A fun, helpful message. All right. So this is for entertainment purposes only, but this is kind of fun. My eyes are closed when I'm throwing these cards down, and this one happened to pop up face up, didn't it, when I set it down? This is the Fool card. The Fool card is the very beginning of the whole tarot deck. It's so far at the beginning, it's a 0. It's not even number 1. So we're starting your reading, remembering that this is a great beginning, a great start to whatever's going on. We should read to you what it says on the Fool card. New beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneous optimism, trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity, and pleasure. I want to say this sounds like a day off from school and your family took you to the water slide park. Okay, so get ready for a fun adventure, Stola. All right, let's see the rest of your cards. And then we'll go back to the chat, make sure we get everyone's reading done. But anyway, this is for Stola. And this is the King of Wands showing up again. He's the big picture guy. The big picture is you're starting something new. You're overcoming obstacles. You're a natural leader. You're a visionary. You're an entrepreneur. You're overcoming challenges. You're mature. Yeah, you're mature enough to know that you're ready to start something new. You're at a great new beginning. The next card is the 9 of Pentacles. Maybe you got here on the fruits of your labor. You saved up for this moment, whether it's energy or money or vacation time or time now that you've learned to set aside every day for meditation or exploring your craft or whatever it may be. Okay, so great. Yeah. Just in general, speaking generally, right? Everybody we know, if we dedicate ourselves, 30 minutes to walking in the morning, 30 minutes to walking in the evening, it changes our life in lots of ways. And when we say, well, I've already done this, how about if I write for 20 minutes a day as soon as I wake up in the morning? Whatever you want to structure your day on. But anyway, we're going to continue, Stola. The big picture is it's a new beginning built on the fruits of your labor. And the Page of Swords talks about a new way of communicating. Perhaps this is a new way of communicating for you, or there's some new way of communicating involved. And let's see what it says on the card. New ideas, curiosity, thirst for knowledge, new ways of communicating, and mental energy. When you change from one job to another, which is something I kind of know a little bit about, you really do have to change your whole outlook on, what's really around you and how you look at things. In any case, let's see the end of your message. Oh, welcome to STARCARD Podcast, Stola. You got the Star card. That's very exciting. That's uplifting. That's rejuvenating. Let's read what it says on the Star card. Hope, calm, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, fortune, good omen, rejuvenation. Wow. It's going to be a great new adventure. The 5 of Swords says there might be some conflict on the way, but we're going to turn this card upside down, okay? The 5 of Swords says conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness. But you know what? Let's turn this card upside down. We got a good thing going here. We're just getting started. We got a new adventure. We're going to focus on what's positive. We're going to be grateful for what we got, but we can still respect boundaries. The 5 of Swords reversed, past resentment, desire to reconcile, making amends, desire to forgive. Turn you upside down. We might feel rejuvenated if we offer or find a way to forgive. Not to forget, but definitely forgive. Forgive your body from carrying that energy. You don't need to think about that anymore. Okay? And then the 4 of Cups again is reminding us that, the universe is giving us what we need. Again, we're going to be grateful for what we got. And we can even go back to the Oscar Wilde quote, if you don't get all the things that you want, be grateful for all the things you also don't want that didn't show up, or however that quote went. Anyway, thanks for inviting me to read, Stola. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was fun. Let me give these cards a quick toss, but I think I see someone else asking for a card or something. Let me check that out. Someone asked for one, and then there was a lot of chat going on. Yeah, you're welcome, Puck Help. I see your message. Stola, you are welcome. That's great. Where did I miss? Oh, it's Art Life 1204. Hi, Art Life. All right. So, Art Life, you would like one card. I can do that, no problem. All right. One more finale, please, if you please, Tarot World. Art Life is requesting a card. How about a fun, helpful, inspirational one card? Here we go. Here's the card. It's the 10 of Cups. I'd love it when the Tarot World does that. It's so magical. All right, so let's read for you the 10 of Cups. Divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family contentment, total love and support. Hey, Art Life. Hey, thanks for bringing this cool energy to the STARCARD podcast today. Come back again every day. I'm only exaggerating a little bit. I hope you come back again. We want your grooving with us. That was cool. That was a cool throw. All right. And oh yeah, sweet. We did it in about an hour again, everybody. Am I missing anybody else? I'll say goodbye for one more moment. All right, great, Art Life. Cool deal. Talk to you later. Tell your friends. And so I'm going to sign off, everybody. So you got your 5 cards for the week. And if I'm not here, it means I'm working on something else, because I definitely want to be here. And I'm probably working on something for you, something else to share every time I turn on the camera. Have a good one. Be grateful. We had a great show together. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.